Okay, let's play some blues. If you have the book, Let's Enjoy Piano. If you don't, go to the website, and there it is. Pick a copy. It's an innovative method for developing self-expressive skills, improvising, accompanying, jamming, composing. And if you have the book, page 76, there's a toolbox for doing all those things right from the sheet music. So whatever sheet music you have, you want to compose from it, you want to improvise from the sheet music, you want to arrange, accompaniment, jam. Everything you really need to know is in Let's Enjoy Piano. So we have the book, page 76. We're going to do a little 12-bar blues, a little piece I wrote, which is called Swingin. Very simple, just starting. The 12-bar blues is written out as 4 C's, 6s in the left hand. And that's got to go on automatic pilot. Then you go to F6, back to C6 for 2 times, G6, F6, C6. That's your basic 12-bar blues walking bass. And as you add, when you put on one note, you add the next on, etc. So there's really no pedal on this, because you're holding everything down as you're playing it. So there's on 72, there's a motive called the cage motive, C-A-G-E. That's a little idea that you center the improvisation around. And so if you played it straight, 1 against 1, it would go like this. Which isn't too exciting, but that's how you have to start, 1 against 1, just practicing that so you get that coordination. Then you try in between the beat. So you're hitting left, this is your metronome, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your offbeat, 1 and 2. So practice the on the beats and the off beats. Now, when you have a rest at the beginning of any measure, here's swinging, here's the music written out, there's an 8th rest, so that the left hand comes first, and using the cage method, which is C-A-G-E, or first inversion of a C6 chord, applying rhythm and articulation, you're just hitting the pinky on the upbeat after 1, and then on the 2 and the 3, there's a dot over the note. So you can see the articulation is the attitude of which you play the piece. And every dot means something. Here's an accent over the entire chord on the 3rd beat of the 2nd measure. And then this slide from the D sharp to the E is a grace note sliding off the blue note. The blue note is the flat 3rd. Blue note is also the flat 5. So you can do that eventually too when we want to put in different fills. So here is there's a rhythmic motive, or a harmonic motive, playing linearly with different rhythm and different articulation. And now we go to the next motive on F. There's an A diminished, which makes F7. So the left hand comes first, and then you play the A diminished. A diminished chord is a minor chord with a flat 5. It picks up the 7. The minor chord, you have a major 7. The diminished chord gives you the dominant 7. And you have a root down on your left hand, so you start on the 3rd of the chord, which is called the extended position. So you can reach up to the 9. Here's the root, here's the 3rd, here's the 5th, here's the 7, here's the 9. So that's all written out like this. I have a passing tone in between the G and the E flat. So if you have the book at 76, that's Swingin, you can read exactly what it is. And I say at the bottom, it's when you write out an improvisation, it's no longer an improvisation, it is a composition. So explains at the bottom, look at the motives on page 72, and you can solidify the improvisation into a composition of your style as well. It's very free in blues. As long as the left hand keeps steady, the tempo is up to you. You can do it very slow too. Okay, so the last line is the G7. There's a B diminished in the right hand. There's the root, 3rd, 5th, 7th of G. And you always start on the right hand on the 3rd of the chord so you can reach up if you have to. Why waste a finger on a root when you can start on the 3rd and have the roots down here? So there's your root and 3rd. So you have the G and the B. If you want G9, eventually you want G11 and G13, which is like a little fanfare. Whatever you might want to do. But getting back to the blues, and then on the downbeat, here's the blue note, the flattest 3rd of F. Practicing, take one measure and practice it over and over again so you get the coordination. This is on the downbeat. And that's on the upbeat between fingers 2 and beats 2 and 3. So this is your metronome, and we'll use that accordingly. Here is the G chord. The first beat is a 8th rest, and this comes, and then it's held. Accent with a little dot, and then an accent with a accent mark that's a little looks like a little bird, and a little dot is like a staccato. So you just touch that and you accent that. So it's the attitude of which you play jazz. It's not what you play, it's how you're playing it. And sliding off and just kind of shifting the right hand, the beat a little. You don't, the left hand is steady, but the right hand can be shifted a little. Now I'll put a couple more things in. On the slide, you can slide and then add the rest of the note, the C6 in, or hit it and slap it. There's also phrase lines between the left hand thumb and the pinky, so that when you play the bass, 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of accent the 4 into the 1. So it would sound, if you can see that, I don't know if that came across, see the slur line, meaning that's connected. It's not a tie. A tie goes from one note to the, like in here, in the G, a tie goes from the G to the G, so you don't play the other 2 Gs, you just hold it out. But a slur goes from one note to another note, another different note, and it's connected, so you have this. Accenting here and here. octave, adding an octave in. Basie would do that a lot, just almost at the beginning of a song. Now I'll do a little improvisation on the cage. And if you've gotten the book in the last year or so, maybe the last 2 years, on 77 I have the blues jazz endings that you can put in: Zaza, blues scale, V slide, etc. Count Basie's blink, plink, plink, Duke Ellington's or Count Basie's 1 o'clock jump, V slide, blues scale. So you can throw that in between, but that's a story for another day. Just wanted to draw your attention to that. 4 different blues jazz endings or fills. And also on page 80B, there's all the decisions you have to make for improvising: fills, chord progressions, melodies, fills, interpretive effects. Again, it's up to your imagination. Use as much as you can. Everything you need to know is there in the book. So I hope that helps you. That's Swingin'. And if you want to get a copy, you want some online lessons, look me up at Let's Enjoy Piano, email at Let's Enjoy Piano, and we'll go from there. Okay, I hope that helped you out. Thank you very much.